Welcome back, I'm Tedward. Welcome back to New Jersey, and welcome to my morning commute to Mercedes of Little Silver. Let's start up this 2023 Maybach GLS 600 and get some coffee. Now that odometer is higher than I've probably seen on any GLS 600. This is 20,790 miles, and now properly depreciated. These things came in around 180 grand plus because you got options and taxes and all that good stuff. This is tipping the scales around 200 grand, and now you're looking at, I don't know, anywhere from 120 to 140 depending on what kind of GLS you're looking at, maybe less. Sometimes these are going for closer to $100,000, which is kind of the most Maybach thing that can happen to you, because Maybach, obviously very old brand, started in the late 1800s and then became this luxurious symbol of opulence and class. It fades away and eventually is revived by Mercedes-Benz with the 57 and the 62. And that flopped. It wasn't great because, remember, Maybach today is a trim level. We're looking at a car that is a Mercedes-Benz Maybach GLS 600. This is the GLS. This is a GLS with extra luxury. Yes, it bounces. Yes, it has a refrigerator in the back and these insane seats, and it's difficult to find anything more luxurious and comfortable than this. However, this is not a bespoke chassis like it was on the 57 and 62, which of course were heavily based on the W140. But due to the price, due to the fact that it was very difficult to compete with Rolls-Royce, I mean, when you're Rolls-Royce, you look at a Phantom and you look at a 57, we've done this on the channel, there's a stark difference. And when the price isn't that different, you start to lean toward the Roller. It had more cachet. Objectively, I think the 57 drove better, but in light of all of those things, plus the financial crisis in the 2008 time frame, it collapses, and we lose the Maybach brand. But somehow, even though we sort of lost that Maybach brand, we end up with brand cachet, and Mercedes is persuaded to bring it back. So let me just do like the shortest walk around, because I'm very, very cold. This one is two-tone. Very difficult to see that it's two-tone. It's got this ruby red on top, and you can see the coach line here, and then it's black down here. So it's beautiful. Now, the other thing about these cars is that they have these silly wheels. They're so big, but you know, it's okay. Maybach can get away with this because these 23-inch wheels are chrome and outrageous. And it is kind of funny because this has a lot of stopping power, yet you put these brakes behind these wheels, they don't look that large. The only thing that frustrates me about this is you've got Michelin Pilot Sport 4S's on this. They're making 23-inch size tires, and I can barely find tires for my Porsche 911 with a 16-inch wheel. The 16-inch wheel is dead, and it's very frustrating, but yet here we are in 2025 and no problem finding 23s. Anyway, your refrigerator back here, mostly just to put champagne, and this is designed for champagne flutes. Lovely. And there you go. I mean, this is like a proper captain's chair. This is first class, man. So if you're looking to get driven around, this is pretty darn good. So to me, this is like what you want as your Four Seasons livery vehicle to bring you to the airport. But hey, here's the other thing. You got to remember, you got to make space for everything. So look at this. I mean, I'm traveling, I'm flying today. You can still fit a couple bags in here, but this refrigerator does take up quite a bit of space. So if you were really looking to like carry a bunch of people and a bunch of stuff, it is going to get a little bit tricky if you've got to do those airport runs for everybody. I've got my heated seats on. I'm very happy. I should probably turn my heated steering wheel on. I forget where that is. Aha, there it is. There we go. On. I like that. Simple, although you could probably ask the car verbally to do that, but we always prefer hand controls over verbal commands. That's not the future, but for whatever reason we believe that's luxury. Now, yes, this can do, by the way, that noise, that is just cold tires at lock slipping a little bit. That is essentially understeer at 2 miles an hour. That's just what happens on cars like this. You see that a lot, especially if you're driving like a 911, like a GT3, and you're trying to take a tight corner. It's just the way it goes. This suspension is incredibly supple. Let's do a little turning circle test right here in this empty parking lot. Look at that. I mean, this is why this is a city vehicle. It can just do insanely maneuverable things. Now, that may not be the most pleasant sound for your passengers, but they'll get over it. I'm not wide open because it's still a bit cold. However, this still has 550 horsepower from its bi-turbo V8. A GLS 63 it is not. And the GLS 63 comes in around 150,000, while this is around 180 if we're talking new. You're paying for luxury. So, I mean, it is unlikely that you would cross-shop the two. It's unlikely that you'd even consider one or the other if you wanted one or the other. They have very different personalities. And actually, I'm really enjoying myself in this. Like, I kind of thought, oh, this is going to look so silly. I don't know. I've driven this before. You get the bouncing extraction mode, and everybody loves that. Ooh, let's get a cheeky coffee while we're here. And we'll not hit this Lexus. Here we are. Rook Coffee. This is the spot, man. This is where you get the coffee, the good stuff. They do a proper pour over, and it's a little hipster, you know? It's a hipster little place, which is why I'm not going to come in with a camera, because they're going to think I'm like a fedora-wearing influencer. But anyway, I'll be right back. Coffee acquired. I'm a happy boy. Let's start it up. Oh, yes. That's a lot of noises. And like modern Mercedes, oh my God. They make so many noises. They're always digging at me. If this was nighttime, you'd get the full ambiance of the interior lighting. The ambient lighting in this car is absolutely insane. You can see a bit of that blue sweeping up and around the headrest and all this stuff. It's just so charming. And because it's a Maybach, it looks like $1 million. But it's not, and if it's used, boy oh boy, are you getting a depreciation deal. And like, nobody really knows it. And that's the thing, is like, if you're getting this brand new, that's a little risky because you're going to take a bath on it. But if you're getting this, let's see, we'll just do this here, get up to speed slowly to not destroy my coffee, and I'm not about to stand on the brakes at the longest yellow light in history. So we're through. Anyway, so if you buy one of these GLS 600s used, you're getting a screaming deal because you're getting this ultra luxurious thing for tens and tens of thousands of dollars off of MSRP. If you're buying one new, well, congratulations, you have a lot of money to burn, but what I would recommend is drive the hell out of it. Like, use it all the time, because whether you drive it or not, like, it's gonna depreciate. That's the nature of these sort of luxury beasts. You see this all the time with Bentleys and Rolls Royces, and I mean, look at the Maybach 57 and 62. I mean, maybe the 62 holds a little bit better, but like, I don't know, we're still under $100,000. And if you get a 57, you get a 57 for like $25,000. It's gonna need a ton of work, but it'll drive. Like, and that's the thing about the 57 though. The 57 was a mostly bespoke chassis based on the W140, but still it's its own thing. And it's like a W240. It's like a hybrid of a new and old chassis. So it's not like a full ground up thing, but it is unique to the 57 and 62. But you also get a twin turbo V12. And that is where this GLS 600 falls short, and the S650 comes into play, because you could still get a Maybach trim level S-Class, and that had the V12. And to me, that's the one to buy. They're definitely more expensive in terms of like how they'll depreciate, but I think that really is emblematic of the Maybach brand. And unfortunately, the Maybach brand is a trim level now. It's not spun off into its own thing. We have a Mercedes badge on the car, which is kind of a shame, because it'd be really cool if Maybach was its own thing and it was competing against the likes of Rolls Royce and Bentley. The issue though is It's so odd. It's almost like the VW Phaeton, where selling an ultra uber luxury car, I mean, this is like the upper echelon of luxury, under it pains me to say it, lesser brand name like Mercedes. It's just difficult, and to create that brand cachet out of vapor is just very, very tricky. So anyway, this car, when it came out, I thought it didn't have as much of a reason to be, but looking at the values and looking at what things cost, I mean, if you want like a Rolls-Royce Cullinan, which is objectively not exactly an apples to apples comparison, but this starts under $200,000, and it's hard to say, hey, what a bargain, but it is. I mean, it is relatively cheap compared to what else you would get in this outrageous luxury market. And everything's so focused on being sporty and ridiculous. You know, you get like an Urus or an RSQ8 or a Cayenne Turbo GT or all these things where it's like, what if you just want to waft along and have those seats in the back? I mean, this is some really wild stuff for a car in this price point. Oh, this auto start stop. Come on. There we go. That's still pretty silly. It's fast. The thing that you're not, I mean, I guess I'm not in any sort of like sport mode or anything, but like you're not getting the pops and bangs and burbles and absurdity that you get in the 63, which frankly, okay. That's okay. I don't need everyone to see that. I just want to waft along in luxurious peace, and maybe I want to go fast while I do it. Oh yes, sport mode. And you know what? Say what you want about like a luxury car like that. I don't look like I'm driving a Cybertruck, at least. So thankfully to the Cybertruck, now there's almost nothing you can drive that makes you look that silly. Yeah, all right. So even in sport mode, we're not getting like pops and bangs. It's acceptable. Ooh, yes. This heated steering wheel's nice. And everything, by the way, everything that you would touch is heated. So like these armrests get heated. This guy gets heated. This guy gets heated. Anything that is a touch surface, I guess this doesn't get heated, but that makes sense. But anything that your arm is resting on or you would hold is getting heated. So it is really nice. Now, the savvy DIY depreciation buyer is going to look at that and say, oh my goodness, what's that going to cost to replace when it breaks? And like, yeah, I mean, you're going to probably play that game a lot if you were to like stack 100,000 miles on one of these things, because the suspension alone, this air suspension is going to be quite a bit of money. And we're in a school zone, man. Like, I don't know if school's in session, but they put a cop car there. I don't know what you want to do. Why do I got to go 50 miles an hour through here to keep up with New Jersey traffic? You guys are crazy. Look at this. Just not spilling my coffee like that GT63 we had. And I feel so relaxed. I like it. It's going to be a very cold day because I'm going to be shooting photos pretty much all day outside, and it's 28 degrees right now. Hopefully it goes up a little bit. I've got my Under Armour top and bottom, and hopefully I can stay warm enough. This dude's looking at me like, cool Maybach, but what the f*** is on your face? Oh, coffee is good. I could do without the auto start stop. Oh, the fishy Jag. So I am going to get to work here in this very cold environment, but at least I was wafted to location in a Maybach GLS 600. Now, yeah, I guess I'll close this out by saying I wish Maybach was its own brand. I wish it wasn't simply a trim level. I wish they would have like bespoke, what on earth? Bespoke chassis for these cars and all that stuff. That would be nice. Thank you to this glorious E34 with its CB radio antenna. Tons of rot. Holy cow, that thing is barely hanging on for life. And, you know, I think I appreciate this car a little more than I did in the last time I drove it. This isn't a full review, but what I can understand is like, I would daily drive this car. I'm not as excited about all the chrome bits and stuff. Like I could do without 23-inch wheels, sure, but it's oddly charming and fun. Thank you guys so much for watching, liking, commenting, and subscribing. Don't forget to respect the drive, and thank you for joining me on a little morning commute. I'll see you in the next one.